Hello, my beautiful manifestors. Oh my gosh, I have not done a live in so long. At least not one just by myself. And that is a little bit of what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try to make it as short and sweet as possible. But as most of you know, that doesn't usually happen that way. So I have been taking a backseat to social media a lot the last few months. I know many of you know I lost my aunt a few months ago. It was before Christmas. My whole family was very close, but my mother especially was her main caretaker. Me and my mom are very close, and it was devastating, right? It was devastating. And there was a lot of pent-up anger. There was a lot of pent-up just depression and sadness. And as a deliberate creator, we all know what we think expands, right? Everything that we think about expands more and more. So it was at this time, right before Christmas, the end of 2020, I started to really get into that negative zone. I started to think more negatively. I started to watch more TV, the news. If you don't know already, I was a journalist. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in journalism many moons ago, and I would consume the news constantly. And it wasn't until I really got into self-development and manifestation that I had to drop the news, and I stopped watching it, really. Of course, I knew what was going on in the world, but I wouldn't constantly surround myself with it, because when we're surrounding ourselves with those vibrations, we absorb it, and we do absorb it. Just the same way that we absorb the people around us that have negative vibrations, that have negative things going on in their lives. We absorb it. We're all connected. So for a very long time, up until recently, it took me a while to get re-inspired in my business. Now, I am very lucky. I think a lot of us have started our online businesses, our coaching businesses, because we're coming from either another job, a corporate job, some sort of security that we're able to take the time off. And I'm very grateful that I was able to take the time off. I didn't take the time off completely. I was still there for my clients. I was still honoring all the calls. I've still been doing work behind the scenes. I just haven't really been doing videos. I haven't really been on Instagram. I haven't really been front and center the way that I usually was. And back in March of 2020, I decided to step down completely from my job in finance. But I was lucky enough that I do have enough money to get me through. I have family. I have my hubby that'll support me and supported my decision to step down from my job in finance. So I'm so lucky in that respect that I was able to take the time off from Instagram, from social media. But the fact of the matter is that I was feeling really crappy, right? I was feeling very low. And the more low I felt, the more horrible things that came into my sphere. And when I say horrible, I mean, watching the news, thinking about what's going on in the news. I live in New York. It seems like there's a new shooting every single day. Just these horrific things that have been seeping into my mind. So the last few months, I've been depressed. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. I was depressed. I was depressed. I was angry. I was filling my time with things that weren't moving me forward. So right now I'm in this amazing mastermind with one of my favorite coaches in the world, Lauren of Love, aka Business Babe. And we had her and Manifestation Babe on yesterday for our call, Catherine Zinkina's Manifestation Babe. And she was saying something along the lines of, we're allowed to watch Netflix, right? We're allowed to have our downtime. We're allowed to do this and that. But when it becomes a type of avoidance, like we're trying to avoid something by, completely detaching by watching the Netflix or, by just doing whatever it is that's not moving us forward, that's when the problem goes. Thank you. I appreciate that. So now I'm back. And I feel better than ever, especially since I joined this mastermind a few weeks ago. I have been studying the law of attraction for over a decade. I have been studying self-development for over a decade. I know how these things work. I know that what we think expands. I know that how we feel expands. But I couldn't do it. For some reason, I was just stuck. And that's okay. And that's one of the points that I'm going to go through today, briefly, as many of you who know me already, I'm hardly ever breathe. But what I want to do right now is really teach you 5 different ways to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. We're all going through a vibrational plummet, okay? There is crazy shit going on in the world. It's hard to tune it out, but we need to take the steps in order to do it. We need to take that scary leap, just that one scary leap. And it's not a lot of work. And I tell my girls this all the time, even when it comes to inner work, right? Meditation, journaling, sitting with yourself, just sitting with yourself and figuring out what's going on in your brain. That doesn't take all day. Just do it for a few minutes a day and you will see amazing, amazing, amazing results. So number 1, and this is what I was just talking about, how to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. You need to start taking inventory of where you're currently at. I talk about this all the time. This is the very first thing I teach my clients. This is the very first thing we do on every single course I teach, every single free workshop, everything that I do. I always say, take inventory of where you're at. So in manifestation circles, when we first get into law of attraction, we're told we can't be negative. We can't be negative. We got to be positive. We have to speak our positive affirmations. We can't be negative. Okay, that is all well and good. And yes, like attracts like. So your positive vibrations are going to attract more positive vibrations. But it's going to be very hard to be positive and to just get positive to begin with if you can't take inventory of the negative first. There's a lot of negative shit spinning around in your brain, taking up room in your subconscious. So the first step when you are feeling like you just can't get back into it, you can't get back into your business, you can't get back into your day-to-day, maybe your relationship is falling down the tubes, you feel like you just can't do it, you don't want to get out of bed, you need to take out your journal. If you're not a journaler, think about it, speak it out loud. You need to take inventory of where you're at. Where are you currently? What is bothering you? What is holding you back? In order to really, truly create new beliefs and move forward in your life and create those beautiful affirmations that we talk about and create that gorgeous vision of your beautiful new reality, you need to know where you're at first. So that's why the first step is always to take inventory of where you're currently at. Write it all out. Write out the deepest, darkest recesses of your mind. And don't be afraid to get it all out. So just because, we have always been taught manifestation, we can't be negative, we can't be negative. No, you need to be negative. Because if you're not going to be negative, it's not necessarily being negative. If you're not going to acknowledge the negative, it's just going to always be stuck there. Always be stuck in your subconscious. You need to get it out. You need to bless and release so we can make room for the most empowering thoughts. We can make room for everything we truly, truly want, right? Okay. So the second way, the second thing that helps me the most, the second thing that I teach my girls all the time, and my guys, my whole entire manifesting miracle worker community, you got to figure out what's making you stuck. Okay. For me, I've been reading the negative news way too often. Like I said earlier, I was a journalist and I was miserable. I was a journalist and I was consuming the news at this crazy level. I was constantly consuming the news and it's always bad. And that negativity seeps into you. Once again, we're all connected, right? So that negativity seeps into you. So when I was a journalism student in college, constantly consuming the news, And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what, your life path is and that's what you want to do. But for somebody like me that, I am teaching women how to live their most financially empowered lives. I am teaching women, I am teaching people all over the place, men, non-binary, how to live their most beautiful lives ever. The negative news was dragging me down. So that's number 2 for you. Figure out like what your triggers are. Distractions like television. Reddit. I was on Reddit constantly. People on Reddit are not that nice sometimes. And you're just like, another thing is like negativity. But I was doing it to avoid doing anything else. It wasn't watching my favorite shows because I enjoyed it. It was an avoidance factor. Like I said before, it was an avoidance factor. And that didn't make me feel any better. It just kept pushing things further and further away. So number 1, take inventory of where you're currently at in your brain, how you're feeling, what you're going through. And then the second thing is take inventory of what is holding you back. What have you been doing? Maybe you've been drinking too much during the pandemic. I'm pretty sure that the liquor stores, they have skyrocketed in sales during this pandemic. You got to take inventory of what is holding you back, because it is holding you back. You want to get off that hamster wheel, even if it's just little by little. I'm not saying any of these things are wrong. Believe me, I have my glass of wine at least once a night. But it was a lot worse. It was a lot worse a few months ago. It was a lot worse with the Netflix and the Reddit and, just consuming things that weren't pushing me forward. So that's really number 2, is that you need to figure out what's making you stuck. Number 3, this is one of my favorite ones because this lifts me up like no other. So everyone who's joining in now, I'm talking about how to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. I have been taking a huge backseat to social media recently. I am, if you don't know me already, I'm a manifestation coach. I am a ex-financial advisor, so I know my way around money. And I've been studying manifestation for the last 10 plus years. This is the way I live my life. This is the way that I believe everyone should live our lives. Our thoughts, our feelings, our vibrations create our reality. And we need to be the most aligned, beautiful, happy version of ourselves. And when we do that, we radiate that out to the rest of the world. So being the best, most aligned version of yourself, you're literally lifting up the vibe of the whole entire planet. That's like one of my favorite quotes, so keep that in mind. So number 3, I love this. Surround yourself with positive things about what you are doing in your life, okay? Or with your life. So for me, example, coaching, manifestation, okay? Money. I'll listen to podcasts about coaching and manifestation and money. And the second that I listen in on it, and the second that I click back into it, I'm there already. It's like you're there. You're in that energy. Just like what I was talking about before. When you're listening to the negative news, you're in that negative news energy. It seeps into you. It truly does. You want a hamster? Hamsters are cool. Hamsters are awesome. Get a hamster if you want a hamster. I love that. Do what makes you happy. So as soon as I turn on a podcast, another thing I wasn't doing for months, while I was in my vibrational plummet, I would turn on a podcast and I'd be lifted up immediately. I would just surround myself with people who are the same vibrational level as me, or at least where I want to go. I would be surrounding myself with high vibe people who are happy and joyous. And, we're not going to be happy and joyous all the time, by the way. Let me tell you that. That's why we're here. That's why we teach you. That's why we're coaches. We coach you through these things. And at every single level of our lives, it's going to be different. Every single level, there's something else that's going to come up. But when you surround yourself with the positivity of something like a podcast or a YouTube video, it will lift you up. And it does for me. If that's not your thing, go grab a book, Kindle book, just anything that's going to get you back into it. So for example, I don't want to grab it right now. Instead of reading my favorite book, Ask and It Is Given, okay? Oh, it is right here. Ask and It Is Given. Abraham Hicks. I've read it like a million times. I have them all. Instead of rereading this the last few months, what was I doing? I decided to order a book on mass serial killers, and I was reading that instead. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, like I have different fascinations about different things, but in the time and space and energy that I was at, and that emotional slump that I was in, probably should have been reading the Esther books, the Esther Hicks books instead of the mass killer books, right? So can we go wine tasting together? I love wine tasting. Yes, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. We'll talk. So you see what I'm saying? It's like you got to do things that are going to be lifting you up, and do it consciously. Do it consciously. And it's okay. We're going through a lot of shit right now. There's so much going on right now. So to me, I had to turn off the news. To me, I took a long break. To me, I know my community has constantly reached out to me. You guys are amazing. You want to make sure I'm okay, because I've hardly been posting. I just, my mind wasn't there, you know, my mind was somewhere completely different the last few months. And it took a while for me to realize just a few little tweaks is all it takes to get back into it. What I teach my girls all the time, just a few focused minutes a day of meditation, journaling, inner work, visualization. That's all you need. That's it. A few minutes a day. But even I wasn't doing that because I was putting everything on the back burner. Everything. It seemed to me like it just every day was a blur, basically. And it was very hard for me to become re-inspired. And that's what we call it. It's a vibrational plummet. Our vibration has plummeted. So everyone new that has joined, we're talking about 5 different ways on how to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. So yeah, number 3, like I was saying, surround yourself with positive things you love, podcasts that you love, books that you love. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, maybe you're trying to get into web design. Start reading books and blogs about web design. Maybe you're starting to get into graphic design. Start following people on Instagram about, you know, graphic design, and just get back into it. It's so easy when you just do it little by little. And even so, like, even on that point, I think this is actually a little later on. You know what? I'm going to add this as number 6. So it's going to be 6 different ways to become re-inspired. You need to congratulate yourself. So like that one day that you picked up that book about graphic design instead of, you know, watch another TV show that just, you know, freezes your mind. Fries your mind? Doesn't make you happy? Congratulate yourself. It's a tough time, people. It is not easy. Every little action that you take, you need to congratulate yourself for it. 5 minutes of meditation in the morning, congratulate yourself for it. Going to sleep at night and writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, or even saying them out loud or thinking them to yourself. Congratulate yourself for that. Like, you got to congratulate yourself for these itty bitty little things. And they're not itty bitty. They might be small, they might be easy, but in the long, grand scheme of things, when you do them every single day, it compounds one on the other, and it starts to become your way of life, and you truly do start to think a lot differently. So number 4 is, like I was just talking about, do the inner work. So if you are new to me, a manifesting miracle worker, the inner work is the inner work. Congratulate the little things, yes. Exactly. I have a wonderful wins sheet that I will be sharing with my community this week. And it's a very simple thing, but you basically print it out and you write down 3 wins for the day, 3 simple wins for the day. And you will be so surprised after 30 days how much better you feel about yourself just because you made 3 little wins. Like, I don't know. I took off my makeup before going to bed last night. Win. I read 2 pages of the book that I just bought. Win. No matter how simple and silly it may seem, especially in these times that we're in, it's huge. It's a huge, huge, huge thing. And we need to focus on these things that we're doing to better ourselves instead of focusing on all of the crazy crap that's going on out there. So number 4, which is doing the inner work. like I said, consistency is key. Inner work to me, inner work to my community is inner work. Looking at yourself. This is how manifestation starts. This is what self-development is. You need to know where you're at in order to figure out where you're going. You can't just decide one day, okay, well, I read The Secret, and The Secret told me that, I need to recite my affirmations 3 times a day, and I need to be positive, and then I'm going to manifest everything that I want in my life. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And it doesn't work that way because you need to know where you're at first. We have so much going on up here in our subconscious. So think of it like, your subconscious is this sponge, basically. You got all this negative crap going on up here, and you just live your life on autopilot. You're on autopilot. You're on autopilot. You don't realize that it's all in there. So now you're trying to make your really positive affirmations. Oh, well, I'm a money magnet. I magnetize money to me more and more every day. The man of my dreams is right around the corner. These affirmations are not going to work if you don't actually believe in them. And you don't actually believe in them because there is so much negativity already in your brain. So that's why, if you want to go back, guys, because I will be putting this on IGTV, but the first thing that I was talking about is you have to take inventory of where you're currently at. I don't care how negative it is. Get down and dirty. Get to the nitty gritty of it. You need to figure out where you're currently at in order to move forward to where you want to be. And it's the truth. Yep. Introspection and introception. Interesting. You got to clear it out, and we call it blessing and releasing. Blessing and releasing. You can't expect to just one day wake up, oh, well, I recited my affirmations, so where's my manifestations? They should be right here. It's called self-development for a reason. It's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. So you really, really, really need to do the inner work. What is inner work? Inner work can be meditation. Inner work can be limiting belief work. What are my limiting beliefs around money? Maybe I feel like I don't deserve money. Maybe I feel like I should not be making more money than my spouse. Maybe I feel like, I don't know. I have never been able to hold on to money my whole entire life, so I never will again. Only rich people have money. Rich people are evil. Money is the root of all evil. These are all limiting beliefs. Work through them. Another great inner work piece that I love to do is just take out my journal and just put pen to paper. Put pen to paper and think about what you truly, truly, truly desire, whether it be in the next 6 months, the next 8 months, the next 12 months. Put pen to paper and just write out your desires, not your goals. I mean, you could call it your goals, but really write out your desires. I want to live on a ranch, or I want to have a pool, or I want to have a family. I want to have a baby within the next year. I want to move to Texas. Whatever it may be, you got to start dreaming these things up. You have to start really getting this out into the universe. Getting it out into the universe. Stop living on autopilot. You need to really get this shit out there so that you are solidifying it to yourself that, yes, this is what I want. And you're letting the universe know in turn, this is what I want. And I say universe, we can call it God, your higher power, your higher being. Manifestation is also called co-creating. So you are co-creating with your higher power. So by really, truly thinking about all these things that you desire, you're putting it out into the universe for your higher power to hear and listen to. And believe me, higher power always hears it, no matter what. And then you begin the manifestation cycle. All right. And number 5, how to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. Be gentle with yourself. All right. So I guess this kind of goes with the number 6 that I wanted to do. You need to be gentle with yourself. Number 1, watch your mouth. What are you saying to yourself on a daily basis? Are you saying, I can't afford this? Are you saying, I'm a piece of shit, or I'm horrible with every car that I ever get. I don't deserve another car. Are you saying, things like, I don't know, I'm a horrible boyfriend, or I can't do this, or whatever it is. Watch your mouth. Really think about the words that are coming out of your mouth every day. What we think about expands. What we say expands. What we feel expands. And mostly the way our vibrations go, we match the same vibrations. Like vibrations match like vibrations. That is the law of attraction. We are attracting more and more of the same. So you need to watch your mouth. And every time you find yourself, speaking in such a self-deprecating way, you need to turn it around. That's where your affirmations come in. Change it around, right? This is how you do this. We need to start being so much more self-aware. It's not just about becoming re-inspired after Vibrational Plummet, just in general. It's not just about becoming re-inspired after, COVID happened and we're all in lockdown and our anxiety is at an all-time high. We need to be aware of where we're at so that we can get to where we want to be. That is the point. We are allowed, we are supposed to, we are meant to be, do, and have absolutely everything that we desire. If that person can do it, we can do it. If the next person can do it, you can do it. That is how this works. You need to start being gentle on yourself and calculating all of your wins. Even if your win was just, wow, I went for a jog today for the first time in 3 months. That's a win. So many people would be like, yeah, I haven't taken a jog in 3 months. Well, finally did today. No, I fucking took a jog today for the first time in 3 months. Get excited about it, right? It's amazing. You gotta start counting your wins. Your life is about you and only you. We gotta stop being so negative. And like I said, I've been doing this. I have been studying law of attraction and manifestation for over 10 years. I have been a money mindset manifestation coach for over 2 years now. I was a financial advisor for about 5 years before that. I know money, I know mindset, and I too still get into my little zones, So it happens to the best of us. But these are my absolute favorite ways to become re-inspired after a vibrational plummet. I really want to know how you guys are thinking about this. I want you to let me know in the comments which ones you love the best, which ones you're going to do. And what areas that you're really having the most trouble with. I am here for you. I have so many surprises this week. The Manifestation Mega Ball is definitely going to be debuting this week. This is an awesome, amazing vault. We have PDF workbooks. We have we have different planners, PDF worksheets. I have tons of different trainings, video trainings, audio trainings, email training. It's going to be phenomenal. So if you're not following me already, follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, message me below. I want to know which of these worked for you, how you guys are feeling right now. I know everything is crazy in the pandemic, and thank you guys. It's so hard. I haven't been live in so long. And okay, by the way, I know I did this on my last video. So I have my gigantic ring light, which I did not use yet. This is the second time I've been using it since Christmas. All right. So since Christmas. That's how much of a plummet I have done. So here, gigantic ring light. Okay. See? I can't put my actual phone on it because it blinds me, so I have my regular phone stand in front of me. But I'm learning. I haven't done a live in so long. Thank you guys. Please, please, please send me a DM if you are feeling any of this negative, crazy energy coming around with the COVID and the news and everything that's going on. I love you guys. And stay tuned for some awesome manifestation and money manifestation courses coming very soon. I'm so excited. I have so much in store for you guys. DM me, comment. Have a beautiful night. I love you all. Good night, guys.